Welcome back to the channel, guys. Kashawn here. Now I know you're probably more used to me uploading sprite animation videos such as Goku vs Sonic or the Sonic in the Dark Emeralds OVA, but those can be pretty time consuming and I don't think that I'd be able to upload those on a consistent basis. So what I'm going to try to do is to give you some other content that'll keep you engaged in the meantime. Whether it be manga, anime, video games, or anything that I'm interested in general for that matter, if you guys like it as well, we can talk about it here. With that being said, let's get on to the topic of today's video, which will be on the future of Sonic. For the most part, I'm going to be focusing on the games, not necessarily gameplay mechanics, but the lore of the series and how Sega can move forward with the characters and the story. I've been a fan of Sonic for as long as I can remember, from the classic games to the adventure games and even quite a few of the modern games. But in terms of the story, if I had to say, the last few have been pretty lackluster in my opinion. First, let's talk about Sonic Forces. Now, when I initially played the game, I thought it was alright, it was an okay game. But the more I think about it, the more of a disappointment that I think the game actually was. It's a Sonic game, so like Dragon Ball in a way, we all know everything's gonna be alright at the end of the day, but that doesn't mean the journey itself gotta be lackluster. Like, it's a situation where Sonic is defeated and captured, Eggman finally has control over the world, and he has a powerful ally that can help him sustain his rule. But there's never really a point in the story where we feel like this will be a sustained victory for him or that the heroes have no way out of the situation. It kinda just feels like, okay, this is just a regular thing for us. We'll get out of it like we always do. There's no real tension in the story, and I guess that's fine, but based on the presentation that we got based on the trailer and all the promotional images, that isn't how it should have been in the story. A big part of the problem in the story was Infinite, because I, like many others, probably thought that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, for one, he mopped the floor at Sonic at the start of the game, so I thought, he was going to be saying something. But by the time we finished the game, and also episode Shadow, you just come to find out the guy was a giant crybaby who threw a temper tantrum because he lost to Shadow. Like, how are we supposed to take that seriously? I mean, he had a cool theme music and all, which based on the lyrics, I thought that, there was a little more depth to him, but alas, that was not the case. I have no idea how any of you feel, but in my opinion, Infinite is the most disappointing villain in the entire franchise. He had the look, he had the music, but the origin in the story was trash. Putting Infinite aside, the Avatar character didn't need to be in the game. I hated those stages, but this ain't about the gameplay, so I'm just not going to talk about that, but yeah, we didn't need the Avatar character. Now, my final issue with the story was the inclusion of Classic Sonic. I don't think he needed to be a part of the game. Now, I understand in-universe he is there due to the link between Sonic Mania and the Phantom Ruby, but other than that, I feel like Sega is trying to milk on the nostalgia from Sonic generations and appeal to the fans that prefer the classic games. Now, this might be minor to some of you, or you may not even care at all, but I hated the fact that they referred to him as that Sonic from another dimension. He was literally just referred to as past Sonic and Sonic generations, so what happened in between them? I don't get it. Could be the Phantom Ruby, who knows, but I found that pretty annoying, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, those would be what I probably consider the biggest issues the story Sonic Forces had. If you guys have any other things to add, you can let me know in the comments. Now, in terms of the other more recent games, the stories were all right, I suppose. Sonic Lost World, I'm never really too sure with the tone. It was kind of all over the place between comedic and serious, so it was meh. In story, I didn't understand why Knuckles couldn't have gone to the Lost Hex. He was already off Angel Island, so to me there wasn't really any reason for him not to go. But oh well. Now, Colors and Generations. Were the stories bad? Not at all. Were they great? Also no, but I think they did a good job. I don't think that they deserve the same type of criticism as Forces because for the most part, they weren't meant to be taken too seriously, so I think they did a rather satisfactory job. So that's it for those two in my opinion. Were they memorable? Not really. Maybe Generations a little more than Colors due to the fact that classic Sonic was there, but that's about it. In my opinion, the best modern Sonic game has to be Unleashed. If we include both the gameplay and the story, I feel like it's just superior to all the games that have followed it. We had to talk about the story though, and in my opinion, Forces in a sense is an extremely watered down Unleashed, or an Unleashed without proper vision in the sense that both have world altering or world shattering events at the beginning of the story, but Unleashed, unlike Forces, is able to plant a tone of seriousness that resonates throughout the entirety of the story. A reason that Sonic Unleashed may not receive the recognition that it deserves is due to the fact that it followed the poorly received Sonic 06. That aside, it feels like it was the last game, in my opinion, that had any real substantial effort put into the story. Now that we're on a new generation of consoles, the big question is what can Sonic Team do to make Sonic more relevant moving forward? Based on the dialogue on Sonic Forces and the relative success of Sonic Mania, they may be trying to target two different demographics, one that favors the classic games and one that favors the modern games. I don't know if my suggestion will be the right course of action, but I do think it's something that's worth considering by Sonic Team. In a sense, it isn't really anything new, but considering how well received the movie that was released last year did, Sega may want to consider rebooting the series. It would definitely be a gamble, because it would be an attempt at righting the wrong that they did with Sonic 06, which was meant to be a reboot for the 15th anniversary of the series. There are a number of ways that they can go about rebooting the series. For one, they could simply start from scratch and do a whole origin game for Sonic and then move forward with the story from there. Or they could go along the lines of having an event within the universe like Flashpoint or the Archie Comics Super Genesis Wave, which would alter events slightly in the past that would allow for them to have more wiggle room with storytelling in the future. They can also go the Final Fantasy VII Remake route and just simply redo Sonic 06 and go from there. But that one's kind of more of a shot in the dark. I don't know how well that would be received. Whichever route that Sonic Team decides to go, it will allow them the opportunity to reuse characters that were used in poorly received games but still have great potential. Characters such as Mephiles, Infinite, and even the Deadly Six to a lesser extent can truly shine if put in the right stories. While on the topic of characters, it could also be beneficial for Sonic Team to put more focus on Sonic's friends from time to time. Now he is the main character of the series as it's named after him, but it might not hurt to tell stories to his friends from time to time while Sonic is just in the background. Now they did make an attempt at this with Shadow's game, but it wasn't necessarily great. It was alright, but there was still room for improvement in it. Now what they can do is the Spider-Man Miles Morales route, where either Sonic is out of commission or he simply isn't available to save the day at the time and one of his friends has to step in. Could be Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, Silver, either one of them, and we can see how they would fare in the spotlight. Because when you think about it, they're not going to be with Sonic all the time. Just like in the real world, there are times where you're apart from people in your life and you have your own experiences. So it would be interesting to see how a story focusing on one of Sonic's friends would turn out, or at least a few stories about each of them individually, at least the more popular ones anyway. I know I in particular want to see a story about Knuckles. I mean, he's the guardian of the Master Emerald, so I'm pretty sure there's some kind of exciting things going on in his life even when Sonic isn't involved. Shoot, none of the main cast even have to be really involved for that matter, except probably Rouge, given her nature with gems and stuff like that. If the story revolving around the Master Emerald, I'm sure she'll be there in some way or form. She'd probably have a pretty prominent role, but I'm not necessarily talking about what the story would be. It's just a suggestion. When I think about it, she could even be the main female lead in the story. Considering their personalities, their interactions at the very least would be very entertaining, I believe. The stuff with the characters aside, I feel like there hasn't been any clear direction from Sonic Team in regards to Sonic since the flop of 06. They kind of put all their eggs in one basket, and when that didn't turn out well, they kind of been scrambling since. Now, has there been any good games since its release? Yes, Good to decent, nothing spectacular. But on these next generation of consoles, I think Sonic Team really needs to produce a heavy hitter to revitalize the franchise. Now I'm just some random guy on the internet. I can't even guarantee that anything that I just said will work, and there's an even smaller chance that someone from Sonic Team would even watch this video. But if they do and they find anything in this video to be useful, I would like for them to consider using it in the next game. For those of you watching, I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree with me, or even some suggestions that you feel could be beneficial to the franchise in the future. I know gameplay is important, but I feel like a great story could come a long way in creating a brand new, fresh, and great Sonic game for the new generation of consoles. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, I'll try to produce more content like this for you in the future. To make it easier, you can even put some suggestions in the comments, and I'll try my best to meet your expectations. Now that the video is over, I'll catch you guys in the next one.